BalletMet is closing out their 2022-2023 season with an all-new interpretation of the beloved classic Swan Lake. A decade ago, Edwaard Liang came on as the artistic director for BalletMet. His first production with the group was the immortal Swan Lake. Now he has choreographed and conceptualized the new piece. While the BalletMet Studios puts the finishing touches on the new piece, we are getting a special behind-the-scenes look at their remarkable costume shop. Photojournalist Bram pulls back the curtain in this week's Sunday Stage.
BalletMet, our mission and vision is to bring world-class dance to Central Ohio. I'm so grateful to be a part of this vibrant arts community, and how this community has embraced BalletMet and myself is beyond my imagination. Because classical ballet, I believe, is the distillation of the best of dance. And one of the reasons why Swan Lake has lasted is because it really touches, moves, and inspires every community. It's an epic love story. It's about redemption. It is about hope and sacrifice for love. And how universal is that? It's going to be a feast for the senses. You have the brilliant Tchaikovsky score. And all the costumes creates how lush and lavish and colorful and magical it makes.
I was trying to think the other day of how many costumes are in this piece. I don't actually have a very good number, but over probably 150 pieces total, which is actually kind of small compared to some of our pieces. For example, Nutcracker has over 300 costume items in it.
We have an incredible costume shop. And these artisans and artists, I have so much respect for how they approach their work.
Tutus are obviously a very ballet-specific thing, and I love to show people kind of the intricacies of how a tutu really is put together, because I don't know if necessarily from the audience people realize how many layers are in here. And each of these layers has to be hand-tacked together, which gives that tutu the pancake shape that you see. Something like this from start to finish would probably be 20 hours. So this has what we call a platter on top, which is just kind of a fabric trim layer and not just tulle. The addition of a platter is probably an extra 15 hours because it's mostly hand tacking once you actually get it on there. The mobility for the dancers is of utmost importance.
Von Rothbart has to dance with different capes and hats and wigs, and same thing with the Queen, or the whole corps de ballet has to have different swan headpieces.
I don't want the dancer to be worrying about the costume. That is the last thing I want anybody to be worrying about. We work with them in the fittings to make sure they're not going to have any issues, and we'll do these in-studio runs ahead of time before we head into the theater next week, so that once we get into the theater and we have the lights and the scenery and all of that, the costume is the last thing that they're concerned about. They'll just put it on and go.
I love being able to potentially introduce a new generation to fall in love with this masterpiece and this genius. That, I think, is what world-class art and bringing world-class dance to Central Ohio is bring the best of what I think this community deserves, and being able to create the platform to invite them back to the theater.
BalletMet Swan Lake runs just 3 days next weekend, April 28th through the 30th. Showtimes and ticket information can be found on their website, balletmet.org.